Have you been wondering how to do a chandelier tooth? I'm going to show you today how to do it my way. Hi, I'm Brittany, and today we're going to go through step by step on how to do a chandelier tooth. This is one of my most requested videos. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you get all the latest content updates. Okay, let's talk about the chandelier tooth because I see some crazy things going on when it comes to this particular design. One of the things I see is techs actually dumping the pixie dust right into the client's mouth and hoping it lands on that tooth, and then you have the pixie dust just scattered everywhere. Ugh, that's a little scary for me because let's think about it. The client can actually choke on that if there's enough there. So I wouldn't recommend it. Plus it's messy and it gets everywhere. I also see techs putting the pixie dust, and it doesn't even have to be the pixie dust. It could be any crystal or gem. But I'm seeing techs put it way too close to the gum line. That can actually cause some gum sensitivity, and it could even irritate it and make it bleed. So I would stay away from the gum line as much as possible. And lastly, but the most important one and the worst one that I've seen is techs actually bonding the gaps of the teeth together while they're applying the pixie dust, and they may not realize it, or they do realize it and it's too late. But that is something that we really need to dive into. So if your client can't floss, then that's a huge problem because they cannot maintain good normal hygiene. And then let's say they go to the dentist for their 6-month checkup, or they don't even, let's say they don't floss, which a lot of people don't, which is scary, but a lot of people don't do it. So let's say they go for their 6-month checkup. They may have a cavity, they may have all kinds of things going on, gum irritation, it may have turned into gum disease, who knows? But the dentist is going to see your work, let's face it, and then they're going to be mortified. They can actually report you to the Board of Dentistry or the Department of Health, and you can get a citation, or they can come and maybe even shut you down. The other scary thing is if something like that happens and the client doesn't realize it and it comes with complications, they can sue you for that. So it's very important to be mindful that you do not get these little pixie dusts in the gaps of the teeth, and that you're not just pouring them all over the place. So today I'm going to show you how to do a chandelier tooth using the Preciosa fairy dust. I tend to go towards the Preciosa, which you can actually find for sale on my website. Here is our typodont, which is also known as a mouth display. And you'll see me picking up our dental space strips. These are truly a game changer to our industry. They are flexible and thin and can actually be placed in between the gaps of the teeth to help us from bonding teeth together. You can cut them into small strips and place them in between the gaps of the teeth that you'll be working on, as shown here. You'll see me then fold over the excess into the gap of the next tooth, almost like an anchor. Next, I am taking my bond and putting a drop onto the wax sheet. And then I'm going to grab my composite, my flowable composite, and put some of that on the wax sheet as well. Now I'm taking my microfiber brush and dipping it into my bond and rubbing it into the tooth surface, rubbing and agitating for the specified amount per the manufacturer's instructions. Now I'm grabbing my tooth dryer and I am thinning out the bond for about 5 seconds, and then I'm going to cure the bond. Now we're grabbing a new microfiber brush and dipping it into our flowable composite. You want to make sure it's a very thin amount on that brush. You then want to paint it onto the tooth in a very thin layer. Next, we're going to grab our wax picker disposable tool and dip it into our crystals. Now, I personally put about 3 to 4 to even 5 SS3 crystals on the tooth before I even put the pixie dust. Now it's time to get ready for your Preciosa Fairy dust. And we put a little bit into the tray. You don't want to overdo it. Now we're taking our disposable wax stick and picking up the pixie dust. It will actually stick to that wax tip. We're just picking up little bits at a time and adding them onto the tooth. You can use the back end of the disposable wax stick to move around the gems how you want and even flip them over if you need to. Once the tooth is covered and looks how you want it to look, you can cure. And this is the end result. Notice there's no dust at the top and there's no dust in between the gaps of the teeth. I truly hope this video helped you in more ways than one and that you're able to pass this on to other technicians. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please leave them below. I'll see you next time.